When your life is filled with smooth sailing, it's nearly impossible to truly experience inherent completeness, the deep understanding that you already possess everything you need within. And without that realization, you can't access true confidence, nor the vast inner power that arises from inherent completeness. When everything in life is going your way, an advantaged family background, loving parents, smooth academic progress, a healthy and attractive body and face, effortless building a multi-billion-dollar company, driving luxury cars and wearing designer watches, having a perfect partner and outstanding children, living in a mansion, enjoying lavish meals every day. Basically, you have all the things most people dreamed of attaining. Then how could you possibly find the time and space to discover the profound strengths that inherent completeness brings within you? If you're constantly winning, always living in the favorable conditions, when would you ever have a reason or the opportunity to feel the supercharged energy that comes from the depths of your own being? How could you ever wake up from this dream? Ironically, this so-called perfect life is what causes us to completely miss the precious essence of our human journey, the inevitability of loss and the crisis of identity. What's far more likely is that even if you win occasionally, you will soon encounter the pain of losing. Even if you are once young and beautiful, you will inevitably age day by day, bringing with it a growing sense of anxiety and loss. Even if you possess great wealth, the day will come when you lose it all. Don't believe it? Just look at the billionaires who have passed away. Did any of them take a single cent with them? Everything you temporarily possess will be lost someday. So we often curse failure, pain, poverty, ugliness, aging, loss, setbacks, and impermanence, wishing there could be fewer of them, hoping they would stay far away from us. But the reality is, as long as you are alive in this world, you will, sooner or later, face significant setbacks and losses. They are inevitable. And so you begin to doubt yourself, wondering whether you truly have what it takes to face life's challenges. Some people are completely crushed by the blows that come their way. They simply don't believe they have the power to take control of their lives, and so they give up, or even consider ending everything. Others live in constant anxiety, haunted by the belief that they are never enough, terrified of what they might lose, fearful of everything they cannot control. Anxiety, fear, worry, and scarcity become their daily reality in the face of life's overwhelming challenges, the gift hidden within suffering. What they fail to see is that all the pain and loss in this world are not just obstacles, but invitations, urgent calls to wake up. These experiences are what finally push us, one day, to understand what it truly means to live in inherent completeness, to see ourselves as we really are, and to witness the infinite power we've always had within. The external world's scarcity is meant to awaken your inner abundance. The external world is, of course, filled with scarcity and fear. Nothing ever feels like enough. Resources are limited. Time is limited. Love is limited. Everything is lacking. It cannot be abundant. It is full of competition because there is a lack of resources. It is saturated with comparison, jealousy, greed, and even war. But the true purpose of this external scarcity is one day awaken our inner abundance so that we may eventually wake up from this game and come to realize the truth of inherent completeness. What inherent completeness is not. Inherent completeness is not a blind optimism. It is not about creating imaginary victories just to make yourself feel better in the face of obvious defeat. It is not like the little match girl who imagined a warm home and a feast in her final moments just to escape the cold and hunger. It's not about being an ostrich, sticking its head in the sand, pretending difficulties don't exist. And it's not simply about giving yourself pep talks, repeating things will get better or I'm improving every day. Because the truth is, you won't always be improving. There will be times when you fall hard. Things won't always get better. Sometimes it will get worse. So neither imagination nor verbal encouragement can truly lead you to believing in yourself. What inherent completeness truly means. True inherent completeness is the unwavering belief that no matter what difficulties you face, you already have the wisdom and strength within to guide yourself through it. That is what real confidence means. This kind of belief reaches the level of faith. Real confidence isn't just believing in yourself. It is having absolute, unquestionable faith in the infinite wisdom and power within you. There is a difference between belief and faith. Belief comes after seeing evidence. It is based on something that has already happened. Faith, on the other hand, is trusting in what hasn't happened yet and still having no doubt it exists. Unfortunately, most people can't truly believe in their inherent completeness. The key issue is that most of us simply cannot truly believe that we're inherently complete. And if there is even the slightest doubt, the power of that completeness becomes inaccessible. When we doubt ourselves, we unconsciously emit a low-frequency energy of lack, and that frequency only attracts people and experiences that match it. We ended up trapped in a repetitive cycle of low vibrational living, caught in the loop without realizing why. So why is it so difficult to believe in our inherent completeness down to our bones? The birth of the ego and the illusion of separation. From the moment we're born, from the instant we're separated from our mother's body, the ego is born. From that moment on, our life script becomes dominated by it, by the ego. The ego has one goal, survival. Because of its separation from the mother, it feels weak and threatened, and so it looks outward for power, grasping for food, attention, resources, love, validation. But this vulnerability, born from separation, acts like a black hole. The ego tries to fill that hole by accumulating more material things, manipulating emotions, or gaining attention. But its hunger is endless. That's because the ego's sense of separation is never resolved. It permanently defines the ego's worldview with fear, anxiety, and lack. As long as there is separation, the ego sees the world through duality. Me versus you, light versus dark, beauty versus ugliness, abundance versus scarcity. This black and white way of seeing becomes the dominant lens through which life is experienced when ego is in control. Why the ego can never accept inherent completeness? Because the ego is rooted in this eternal separation. It will never truly feel powerful or whole. It cannot believe it already has what it needs. Instead, it must keep grasping more money, more luxury handbags, bigger homes, higher status, more followers, just to make itself look strong, to feel safer. As long as your life is being run by ego, you won't be able to place your full faith in the truth that you have the wisdom and strength to overcome any hardship or challenges. You will follow the ego script, gripped by anxiety, fear, and scarcity, constantly reaching outward in search of safety that never lasts. Where does this unshakable faith in yourself actually come from? It arises in the very moment you transcend the control of the ego and reconnect with your higher self. What some may call the God within, the divine, the Buddha, the universe, the one, the source, the soul, or whatever word feels right to you. In truth, no language can truly capture it, because language belongs to this physical three-dimensional world, while the higher self exists in a different dimension altogether. But through various practices of body, mind, and spirit, we can feel its presence. We can begin to establish a deep connection with it. And through that connection, we allow our body to become a channel, letting its wisdom flow through us, infuse our actions, nourish our lives, and ripple outward to nourish those around us. Why does connecting with our higher self determine whether you can truly have unshakable faith in yourself? Because this connection is the moment when you become one with the source, like a lost child finally returning home. It's like being reunited with the mother's embrace after being born and separated from her body, finally feeling whole again. Our higher self is a fragment of the source. The source cannot directly experience this world, so it created each of us, each soul, as a reflection of itself, a fragment through which it could explore life. So when you reconnect with your higher self, you are also reconnecting with the source of all creation. And in that moment, the deep existential fear born from separation when we first left the womb begins to dissolve. You feel a safety you've never known before. You feel held. You feel completely accepted. You feel unconditionally loved. That moment of unity is when the ego's fear, anxiety, and sense of lack begin to profoundly heal. You no longer feel the need to struggle and prove your worth. You realize that your very existence is the value itself. You are the source. There is nothing lacking. When you feel that you are connected to the source and the source is within you, that you are the oneness itself, How could you not have absolute faith that you possesses the infinite wisdom and power to overcome any difficulty and create any life you desire? Because you are the source, and the source limitless creative power lives within you. At that point, how could there be any doubt about your inherent completeness? There's no doubt. There's only faith. How do we connect with higher self? When you find yourself once again trapped in a spiral of fear, anxiety, and lack, try stopping for 1 second. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and plant a question into the mind. I feel so afraid right now, but who am I? Am I this emotion of fear? That doesn't seem quite right. If I'm not the fear, then who am I? Am I the one who is experiencing the fear? If so, who is it that is aware of this experience? Keep going. Ask again and again, like peeling an onion, one layer at a time, until something deeper is revealed at the center. This practice is known as self-inquiry, a method of peeling back the layers of thought and identity to reach the essence of who you really are. And at some point, when the mind quiets just enough, you will begin to feel the current of the true self flowing beneath the noise. The power of focus. Many manifestation teachings encourage us to concentrate our energy on a clear and specific goal and to make that goal as vivid and tangible as possible. But no matter what your goal is, a person, a career, a financial figure, or a desired state, it is always in flux. Just like how we reach one mountain only to start climbing the next. The objects of our desire are ever changing. These goals may serve as helpful signposts, but they are not stable enough to anchor a human life. When your sense of peace depends on something that constantly shifts, even brief moments of calm become fragile, and suffering inevitably return the moment control slips away. However, when you bring your focus back again and again to your higher self, to the source, each moment of focused awareness becomes a stream of life energy flowing into your being, because the higher self is unchanging. It is eternal. It doesn't care whether you are high or low, slim or heavy, gifted or uncertain, wealthy or broke. It simply is steady, compassionate, warm, full of unconditional love and acceptance. The more you learn to root your focus in the higher self, whether through meditation, yoga, walking in nature, or simply sitting in silence, the more you will begin to sense a quiet, unwavering anchor forming within you. An anchor that gives you real strength, the practice of surrender. What about the moments when life becomes unmanageable, when everything is collapsing and feels beyond your control? That is when the ego, which has held absolute control over your life since the moment you were born, finally leads you to a dead end. The ego, driven by fear, scarcity, anxiety, and guilt, has kept you frozen, afraid to act, afraid to create, afraid to expand. It has dictated your every move, convinced you that safety lies in control and conformity. But now, as life unravels beyond what the ego can manage, you begin to sense something deeper stirring within, the awakening of the higher self. How do you distinguish the voice of the ego from that of the higher self? The ego's voice always triggers fear and contraction. The higher self's voice always brings courage and expansion. That's how you know the higher self is awakening inside you. It was never truly absent. You are it, and it is you. The moment the higher self awakens is the moment of reunion with the source. It is the moment of union with infinite wisdom and unconditional love. You begin to feel a profound safety, a sense of finally being held fully and without condition. And when the higher self comes alive, you no longer need to chase safety through the outside world. You no longer need to build a false self just to survive. You have a center now, a still point, a place to rest. You begin to feel that you can entrust your entire life and the path ahead completely to the higher self, because it loves you unconditionally, guides you with wisdom, and walks with you steadily and silently through it all. Whether you are feeling proud or discouraged, successful or defeated, it does not care. It makes no judgment. It simply stays with unwavering stillness and infinite tenderness, holding you exactly as you are. It will never turn it back on you. It will never abandon you, never betray you. It walks beside you, always leading you forward step by step. And in that presence, you begin to feel, perhaps for the first time in your life, what it means to be truly held, truly safe, truly home, and truly loved. The power and practice of surrender. This is when you begin to truly understand the power of surrender. You hand your heart over completely to the higher self, trusting that it will offer you the wisdom and strength to overcome every hardship life presents. And in that surrender, you enter a new era of co-creation with the higher self, the universe, God, the source. Even when no past seems to exist, you begin to walk one that is truly your own. How do you practice surrender? Each morning, whether in meditation or while walking in nature, silently repeat in your heart, "Thank you, universe, for all that I have been given. I'm ready now. I'm ready to dedicate my entire life to the mission I chose before I came into this human experience and to the divine blueprint you have laid out for me. Please continue to give me wisdom and guidance. Show me the way forward." As you begin to say these words with sincerity, you will start to receive more and more guidance from the universe, often through signs, synchronicities, and seemingly random messages. And when you begin to recognize them, your confidence grows. You realize that you are never alone on this journey. You begin to walk a new path, a path of co-creation with the universe itself. At this point, you no longer chase after fame, wealth, or social status. Those things no longer hold power over you. Your focus shifts to fully living in each present moment, serving others with joy and love. And in this devotion, you begin to receive waves of inspiration from the universe. This inspiration activates your power to create. And under this high-frequency guidance, you begin to move forward with ease, confidence, and alignment, walking a path born from your true self. Ironically, this is when abundance begins to flow easily in your external world, not because you forced it, but because your inner world has already become abundantly full. The external world is merely a reflection of that. So what is inherent completeness? It is knowing that every effort to seek love, validation, or resources from the outside world in order to prove your worth is ultimately futile. Inherent completeness is a process of returning to your source through your connection with the higher self, gaining the courage and wisdom to unravel the many life lessons before you. Through consistent practices like meditation, self-inquiry, and surrender, you bring yourself back again and again to that original center, that eternal anchor. And from this space, you begin to receive divine insights and inspiration. Even when no clear path lies before you, you begin to walk anyway, and step by step, the path reveals itself. This is how you begin to live the abundant life that has always been within you. And the moment you finally place your full and wavering faith in your own inherent completeness, you will have found the golden key to both inner and outer abundance.